All right, good morning. I'm 5 News meteorologist Stephen Elmore. Finally, these strong to severe storms have arrived into northwest Arkansas this morning. We finally have that severe thunderstorm warning that's moved out of Oklahoma and into northwest Arkansas. This includes Benton and Washington County. This is going to be on the west side of 49, very western Benton and Washington counties this morning. This line of thunderstorms has really caused a lot of flooding problems so far, producing a lot of rainfall across northwest Arkansas, but it's also producing some strong wind gusts. Our new severe thunderstorm warning that we have across Benton and Washington counties is for 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Now, I want to point out the difference between these two cells that we're looking at here. This leading cell that we have, this leading line across northwest Arkansas that's moving into Bentonville, Rogers, Fayetteville right now, is not the severe one right now. This is going to produce a lot of those lightning strikes and some of that heavy downpours of rain. That's why we have that flash flood warning across Benton County right now, just to do the amount of water that's going to be coming down over the next several hours or so. What this warning is for this other line that looks very similar to it. It's still in eastern Oklahoma. Well, this is what's producing those 70-mile-an-hour straight line winds moving out of Oklahoma. So we still have a while until it reaches the county lines for Benton and Washington counties, but this is just warned ahead of time just so we can prepare for these straight line winds to start to move through. The good news is that these storms were producing 80 to 90-mile-an-hour wind gusts across Tulsa. Now that we've been downgraded to just those 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts, the system seems to be dying as we're starting to lose that energy as we continue on earlier on into the morning. Now that we've lost sunset for a long time now, not a lot of energy is left for these systems to use, so hopefully the system continues to die down. Right now, though, it's still underneath that those 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts or so. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up this warning for you. It's going out until 2 a.m., and again, this is for just 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. No hail right now, just those strong damaging wind gusts that are going to be impacting Benton and Washington County here very shortly. We're going to go ahead and track this out and show you what time this is going to be expected for. This system is moving east at 50 miles per hour. So I'm going to go ahead and change the parameters that we have for movement of these storms. Right now it's set for 45. Let's up that to 50. And then let's go ahead and draw this line, reaching just south of J to Tahlequah. And that's going to be reaching into northwest Arkansas very shortly. So Siloam Springs area, Gentry area, Heifel, we're talking about around 1:30 or so. So since it's moving so quickly, you don't have a lot of time here, about 15-20 minutes or so before this line that's severely warned is going to be pushing in towards the county line. We just got that latest update right there, so we'll redraw this here in a second. But again, moving into Siloam Springs around 1:30. So again, that's about 20 minutes from now where we're going to see these strong winds start to move in. Again, this leading one right now that's providing that rain across these areas is just some heavy rainfall, lots of lightning strikes this evening, or now into this morning. This back edge is what's providing those strong damaging wind gusts. And again, dying out as we go along, but still producing those wind gusts strong enough to prompt a warning. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this and redraw it since we got that new update. See if we can get a better timing on these winds. So yeah, just after 1:30 this morning, Siloam Springs, around 1:40 for Gentry, and then moving into Heifel around 1:45. So if you're in those areas, if you're in this yellow polygon, I'll go ahead and take down radar for you so you can get I know it looks kind of confusing where that polygon exactly is. Can't really see it with all this rainfall down right now. So let's go ahead and turn off sweeping radar. And again, we're looking from the county line between Missouri and Arkansas, from Benton County, northern Benton County, all the way down to around West Fork is where that severe thunderstorm warning is going to be. Folks south of West Fork in Washington County, you're outside of the severe limits right now, but still going to see some of that heavy rainfall. That was going to be those two main concerns heading into this evening were one, going to be the flooding risk, and that's what we're seeing right now. That's why we have these flash flood warnings across portions of Benton County. I won't be surprised if later on this morning, once we get not only, I'll circle it, what I'm talking about here, not only after we receive this line producing heavy rainfall, but also this one going to produce even more heavy rainfall. And even if you look back here, this cell also producing heavy torrential downpours of rain. We could see some road closures this morning. We could see some flash flooding in some low-lying areas. So you have to be on the lookout if you're in one of those places that you know that your backyard usually floods, you know that your streets are prone to flooding. That could be a potential risk heading into this morning. That's why we already have, again, that flash flood warning for Benton County. I'm going to go and pull up the information on that. Flash flood warning for Benton and Carroll counties is going out till 4 a.m. Again, these flood warnings usually are extended several hours ahead of time because of the rainfall that's expected to come over the next several hours. So again, we're going to receive to around 2+ inches of rainfall just in Benton and Washington counties over the next couple hours or so. Again, this is going out till 4 a.m. so still have several hours until that flash flood warning is going to come to an end. Again, this is going to affect those small creeks, urban areas, highways, streets, underpasses, as well as those low-lying areas are going to be potentially at risk. I want to zoom out here just real quick and show you that basically the main threat for tonight, outside of those wind gusts across Oklahoma, has been this flooding risk. You can see all across portions of Oklahoma and southern Missouri, and now into northwest Arkansas, all these green lines that you see on your screen here, those are flash flood warnings. So it has been a lot of water that's come down over the past couple hours or so, and we're expecting to get a whole lot more. I'll go ahead and show you. We'll turn off sweeping radar here, and I want to switch to our observed precipitation accumulation, which is just based off of radar so far. But you see all this blue that's popping up on your screen. This is close to, just randomly click there, just in northeastern Washington County. If you see right there, close to 2 inches of rainfall already. I'll go ahead and click around and show you some other spots. Let's go ahead and click just north of Bentonville. That's the warning right there, flash flood warning. Close to 1.5 inches. Go ahead and Salem Springs, close to 1.5 inches as well. And again, we could see 2+ inches of rain, 2, 3, even 4 inches of rain in some very isolated spots all this morning. So again, flooding is going to be one of our biggest concerns outside of this one severe thunderstorm warning that we have right now for those strong wind gusts. I'll go ahead and turn back on radar. Let's go to sweeping radar. And you see all the lightning strikes that are in there right now. Lightning strikes can also be dangerous. You know, you're outside, not a lot of people outside this early in the morning, but those cloud to ground lightning strikes can be very dangerous. You've seen, we've been looking all night, all evening out at the Fayetteville camera. Off the distance, you can see all the lightning strikes that are in Missouri, but now we're starting to see most of those lightning strikes across portions of Benton and Washington County. So again, not as much with this leading edge, you see. This leading one that we're seeing right now, not necessarily the severe one, but you see all this lightning, all these lightning strikes that are still in eastern Oklahoma, right in here. So this system, still a ways off towards the west, is still producing the capabilities of those strong wind gusts and also the capabilities of those frequent lightning strikes out there. Go ahead and erase this. And let's go ahead and track that out one more time just in case we have some folks joining us a little bit later. I'm going to go ahead and just assume that they're going to extend that warning further into Benton and Washington counties. So we got West Salem Springs around 1:30. Siloam Springs 135, X&A around 150, reaching Bentonville closer to 2 a.m., Fayetteville just after 2 a.m. as well. Even if these winds aren't producing those 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts anymore, we could still see those wind gusts peaking up near 60 miles an hour, which is still considered damaging. We got to be over that 58-mile-an-hour range to reach into those, reach above that severe thunderstorm warning risk for this evening. We're looking at our Facebook live chat right now, answering any questions. I got a question coming in about the tornado risk heading into tonight. We actually did have a tornado warning just outside of Branson. This system has produced some rotation across eastern Oklahoma and then again in southern Missouri. These systems right now that are in northwest Arkansas, not necessarily showing a whole lot of rotation. Tornado risk for this morning was very low to begin with, and we've only had that one warning that was outside of Branson, and that was several hours ago. So I'd say at this point right now, tornado risk still very low for this morning. Can't rule out to see a few of those notches within this line, but overall very low risk for tornadoes. Our main concern again are going to be these straight line winds coming out of this second system that's still across portions of eastern Oklahoma, and then also the flooding risk. We just showed you those observed totals that we've picked up so far of amount of water that we've seen just in the past 6 hours or so. And we've already seen close to 2 inches in portions of Washington County. So we still got several rounds of this rain to go. That's going to be all pushing through northwest Arkansas. Flooding risk is definitely one of our main concerns heading into this morning. And of course, this morning, one of the bigger mornings of the year with those kiddos going back to school from many schools across northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. The good news is that most of the severe weather is going to be well over with by the time we're talking about bus pickup around 7, 8 a.m.-ish this morning. That's going to only be looking like those lingering showers from this system still, maybe a few isolated thunderstorms still, but so overall, the severity for this system this morning has been very low. We were expecting to see those strong winds coming in from that system moving out of southern Missouri several hours ago. Didn't pan out. We didn't have enough energy in the atmosphere to produce those strong wind gusts. Just saw some of that heavy rainfall and a lot of those lightning strikes. Didn't have a warning until just now when we have this severe thunderstorm warning going out until 2 a.m. again for folks that are west of I-49 across western portions of Benton and Washington counties. So let's go ahead and track this out one more time. Again, we're talking about reaching Bentonville, Fayetteville area around 2 a.m., Siloam Springs area around 1:30, Gentry area around 1:45. And again, folks that are joining us a little bit later, I just want to point out we have two almost identical looking systems right now, but overall producing very different storm complexes. This system that we have right now that you're seeing that lightning outside, you're obviously hearing the rain outside, and this is what's producing a lot of our rainfall right now. This system right across I-49, not our severe system right now. This is just going to help produce more of those flood risks heading into this morning, producing a lot of heavy rainfall across Benton and Washington County right now. This system behind it is what's producing those strong wind gusts, capable of producing those wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. Folks who are joining us across the River Valley this morning, mostly dry. We're going to go and look across the River Valley. You got a few showers across Sequoia County. You got a few showers across Johnson County. Outside of that, one pop-up shower across Logan County. The River Valley was not included in that severe thunderstorm watch earlier yesterday, and we're not expecting much at all in the way of severe weather this morning. Now, it looks like we have a little bit of an outflow boundary that's pushing into Crawford and Sequoia counties right now. That could be producing those wind gusts capable of around 40 miles per hour. I'll go ahead and draw it out for you right now. There's that small little outflow pushing towards the southeast, it looks like. So folks in the River Valley, even though you're not seeing that lightning, you're not seeing that heavy rainfall, could see one of these outflow boundaries still produce some of those stronger wind gusts, not to the severe limit though, or only around 30 to 45 mile an hour. Wind gusts can be produced out of this little outflow boundary that we have right there. Outside of that, our main concern going into this event and still this morning is across northwest Arkansas. Let's go ahead and bounce back up. Again, flash flood warning across portions of Benton and Carroll counties. That's going out until 4 a.m. So right now we're sitting at 1:30. Still got several hours to go on this flash flood warning, again, because we not only have this round that we have right now, but we have another round right behind it producing those strong wind gusts, and then another round behind that just producing some more of that, those heavy downpours. I'm going to go ahead and really zoom out here and see how much energy we have in this system. Right now, we have this lone severe thunderstorm warning. So if this system keeps on dying, we might be left with without those severe thunderstorm warnings heading into northwest Arkansas, which is a good thing. Last thing we want right now is those strong damaging wind gusts heading into the first day of school for many kiddos today. Again, this is happening several hours before that pickup. We don't want those branches on the road when they're getting picked up by the school bus and stuff. So what we're main concern for tonight, number one, is going to be the flash flooding. We're going to see some potential for some flash flooding early this morning. Should be draining by the time we get closer towards the 8 a.m. hour. And then our second concern is going to be these damaging wind gusts that's coming out of this cell, still moving into Adair and Delaware counties this morning. I want to go back into this severe thunderstorm warning, again going out until 2 a.m. Still producing those. I want to see if they updated it. We can click inside this polygon, and they usually update that information. Still going out till 2 a.m., still producing those 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. I'm going to go ahead and hop on chat with my phone. Our NWS chat, that's our communication between the National Weather Service out of Tulsa. They communicate to individual stations, giving us the latest information. Again, that severe thunderstorm watch is going out until 3 a.m. They're going ahead and going to continue that severe thunderstorm watch. Right now they have no updates for our viewing area. Most of their communication right now is happening in Oklahoma. Obviously, Tulsa area got hit very hard with those strong wind gusts. We were seeing reports out of chat earlier on reporting up to 80+ mile-an-hour wind gusts that moved through the Tulsa area. They definitely saw some stronger wind gusts closer towards midnight earlier on this morning. Good news is, if you were with us from the beginning of this, of our live stream, we kind of saw that defined edge, that leading edge of this back system right here that was producing those wind gusts. Now we're kind of seeing it falling apart a bit. The limit for those damaging wind gusts has definitely shrinked, and it's kind of gusting itself out. So the severe limits are definitely dropping as we're losing that energy constantly as we head further on in the morning. So wind gusts definitely dropping on our potential for severity this morning. Not necessarily concerned a whole lot about those wind gusts. Even though they can produce some stronger wind gusts, the main concern for this morning is going to be folks who are driving out on the road, getting caught in those flash flood potential. Right now, I-49 is seeing some heavy rainfall, and folks that are planning on driving later on in the morning, we're going to continue to see that heavy rainfall round after round. We circled it earlier. Seems like that third line is kind of falling apart, but this, let's draw the circle around it. This one is producing torrential downpours. This one's going to produce some torrential downpours, and then anything that looks like, I'm going to go delete this here in a second. Looks like this system's moving off further towards into southern Missouri, so not necessarily worried about this system right here. But really what we're looking at is these as producing some of those stronger potentials for some flash flooding this morning. Folks who are driving up from the River Valley into northwest Arkansas for work this morning, you're going to be running into a big difference from the River Valley to northwest Arkansas. River Valley, again, we showed you just a second ago. Few scattered showers here and there, nothing producing a few lightning strikes across Sequoyah County, a few lightning strikes across LaFleur County, and a few of those isolated showers across Johnson County. Overall, though, across the River Valley, not a whole lot to expect this morning in the way of severe weather or even rain potential this morning. All of this is coming out of a system that's tracking across central Missouri and just leaking into northwest Arkansas. We'll go ahead and look at our Springfield. Again, most of this activity is across portions of northeastern Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas, central Missouri, going into the St. Louis area shortly in the next coming hours or so. This is just a system that's leaking into northwest Arkansas. And again, good news is, to take away from this, if you're worried about those severe winds, what I'm looking at right now, it looks like that system continues to lose its strength with those strong wind gusts. So this severe thunderstorm warning, even though it's going out till 2 a.m., not necessarily a huge potential anymore. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this back system that we're talking about that's still severely warned right now. I don't want to take away anything from that. Still take this very seriously. But Gravette area, most likely seeing some of those stronger wind gusts right now. Heavy downpours of some rain. Decatur, Gentry, down to Siloam Springs. Prairie Grove, you're seeing the first system right now, but prepare in the next 30 to 45 minutes or so, another heavy system to start to move in. Anytime that we look at these systems, we look at where the lightning is being produced, that's where the strongest core of that cell is going to be. So more into the Siloam Springs area, you've got this core of lightning that's just to your west. That's going to be moving directly into Siloam Springs. And then we got another little system up here that's producing a lot of those lightning strikes, more moving into the Gentry, Decatur area shortly in the next 30 minutes or so. Let's go ahead and pull up velocity. So still producing some of those strong wind gusts. Again, that's why we're seeing this severe thunderstorm warning continue into northwest Arkansas. Got a little bit of a bend right here, picking up in its intensity right now. Actually, you start to see these pinkish white spots. So north of Siloam Springs, moving into Gentry, Decatur, seeing that strong band of some wind gusts this morning. Just in case you can't see what we're talking about, this is that line that's moving into portions of Benton County. And then I want to zoom out just a bit, check on it, see if we see any spots into Washington County. Much weaker wind gusts into Washington County. So right now, if you're in, I'm going to go ahead and take this down. If you're in the Decatur area, prepare for some of these strong wind gusts to start to move in. Coming out of Oklahoma, Gentry area, going to see some of these strong wind gusts come in. And then just north of Siloam Springs, you're going to see some of these stronger wind gusts come in. Again, still capable. This warning, they just trimmed it down out of Oklahoma, but still capable of producing those 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts. Just south of Gravette, you could see this system right here start to make a northeastern turn and start to push towards the south side of Gravette, producing some of those strong wind gusts. We'll keep on looking each return that we get to see if this starts to pick up on its intensity with these wind gusts. Or they didn't cut it down, they just cut that down. Let's check to see if there's any. Good news is, with that, when they trimmed that warning down, originally that warning was extended into more of eastern Oklahoma. When they trimmed that down, they dropped the wind gusts from 70 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts. Still severe, but the winds are dying as they move into northwest Arkansas. Right now, though, as they'll die later on once we get closer towards past east on 49. Right now, though, we still have this severe threat moving into, again, the areas we just named. This is our main area of concern right now for those damaging wind gusts, right where you see all this color right here. just north of Siloam Springs. Still, if you're in Siloam Springs, still seeing those stronger wind gusts, but the majority of them are just to your north. Gentry area is seeing a lot of those stronger wind gusts right now. Just outside towards the west is where we're seeing those orangish, pinkish colors right there, where those heavier wind gusts are being produced. And then just north of Decatur, some of these stronger wind gusts are being produced. The strongest ones are going to be on this leading edge right here that's coming into western Benton County. Again, good news coming out of this warning being trimmed down is that we dropped from 70 to 60. So if we could keep that trend going, we'll drop from that 60 to below the severe limit. We're right on the severe limit right now with these strong wind gusts, and outside of this one area across western Benton County, we're not seeing a whole lot of those wind gusts. Maybe some just now crossing into Washington County. Lincoln area in the next 15 minutes or so, you could see some of these strong wind gusts. Here's what I'm looking at right now. Looking at two spots. Of course, we're looking at this leading edge right here. And then I'm looking at this right here. If that holds up its strength, we could see another round of some gusty winds start to move in once we get into Washington County. We'll keep an eye on that right there. That lime green, almost white spot is producing some of those stronger wind gusts. Bouncing between two radar sites right now. So if I scroll up too much, you see there I bounce into Tulsa. This is going to be coming from Fort Smith. But overall, here's this wall of wind that's coming through while we still have that severe thunderstorm warning kind of snakes across Benton and Washington County. This is all moving east. And this system is moving 50 miles per hour, producing up to those 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And this is all going to be moving into Bentonville, Springdale, Fayetteville area. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this area of concern right now. Northern half of this line is producing some of those stronger wind gusts. Gentry really seeing those strong wind gusts right now. Siloam Springs really seeing those strong wind gusts. These are considered damaging when we get up to the 60-mile-an-hour range, so we could definitely see some tree damage, some power line damage. And with the amount of water that we've seen just in the past 72 hours, again, we had some storms this morning. We had some storms from Friday. A lot of water's come down over the past couple of days, so those trees could be easier to fall over, uprooted with these wind gusts coming through. And it looks like the intensity is starting to pick back up now as we move deeper into Benton County. Still highlighting those areas of concern for Gravette, Decatur, Gentry, and Siloam Springs. Now, if we look at this line, that's in Washington County. Kind of harder to tell, but this right now looks to be our area of concern that could be moving into Washington County. You see that lime green spot right there. Those are some of those stronger wind gusts. And then, of course, this leading edge producing some more of those strong wind gusts. Lightning cores are picking up across Fayetteville, Springdale, Rogers, up to Bentonville, Pea Ridge, Bella Vista. You're just seeing a whole lot of those lightning strikes right now. We haven't seen much in the way of intensity so far this evening, now into this morning. So we still have the capability of producing some severe weather just because we haven't used up a whole lot of that energy. Check on hail cores, nothing at all in eastern Oklahoma. That's a good sign. Sweeping radar kind of starting to form back together now. You see this leading edge starting to make more of a defined line That again is going to be pushing towards directly east. XNA, you're going to be up next when these wind gusts continue to push through. Since we dropped from that 70 to 60 mile an hour range, hopefully we won't see the severe thunderstorm warning extended, but with this area of concern across western Benton County, I would imagine right now we have a good possibility of seeing this warning extended as it gets closer towards the Bentonville area. Again, this is going out for another 15 minutes, this specific warning. So they're getting close to the point where they might have to extend it deeper into Benton and Washington County. High full area, right on time. We mentioned at the beginning of our live stream that around 1:45, this wall of wind was going to come in. Again, I'm going to draw a circle around it. If you are in this circled area right here within the severe thunderstorm warning, this is where these strong damaging wind gusts are going to be coming through right now. Folks who live in Bentonville, though, you still got time before this wall of wind comes through. You're up this morning, just prepare for the fact that we're going to see this complex still produce damaging wind gusts. Rogers area, got even more time. Let's go ahead and get a wider view. Trying to see. Still some of those stronger wind gusts pushing into the Lincoln area right now. Prairie Grove coming up pretty soon. Definitely stronger wind gusts on the northern half of this second wave that's coming through. Good news is the areas of concern that we pointed out for Gravette, those stronger wind gusts are towards your south and towards your southeast. Decatur, still feeling those stronger wind gusts, but the heaviest portion of it is to your east now. Gentry to your east now, and Salem Springs towards the east. This is going to be affecting XNA, Taneytown, into Bentonville here pretty soon. So again, Bentonville, Rogers, Springdale into Fayetteville. Fayetteville on the weaker side of these stronger wind gusts. Again, this is our area of concern right here where you see these yellow, white spots with those stronger wind gusts. This is getting towards the edge of the polygon that we have for the severe thunderstorm warning. So I imagine they're going to go ahead and extend this here pretty soon if they think these wind gusts are still above the 60 mile an hour range. All right, let's go back to sweeping radar and see how much more of this rainfall we have left to go. Again, this we were talking about how we got kind of two waves right now. This wave is pushing into eastern Benton and Washington County, and now into Madison and Carroll County to create more of that flood risk. This is what's producing those 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So we'll be on the lookout to see if that picks up in its intensity. Still nothing showing up for hail cores. It's a good sign. Bentonville area, you're just about to see these strong wind gusts right here push in. West side of Bentonville, this is going to be moving in. And folks who are driving on I-49 this morning, you're seeing all this lightning ahead of it. Huge lightning show right now. And now we're about to have more concern with it with the stronger wind gusts coming right behind it. So closer towards the end of the warning, we could be reaching into Bentonville. X and A seeing those strong wind gusts right now. Rogers closer towards 205. But to redraw that to include Springdale, even though they're kind of on the weaker side of this line. So yeah, Bentonville closer towards 2, and Rogers just after 2 a.m. Bentonville, wall of wind starting to come in. This is outrunning the severe thunderstorm warning. Could see an extended, but these could be slowly starting to die out. Again, when they reissued the severe thunderstorm warning, it was cut down out of eastern Oklahoma, dropped it from the 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts to 60. Still got this isolated spot of those stronger wind gusts right now. So west side of Bentonville could see some of those uprooted trees, could see some of those down power lines potentially if these strong wind gusts are capable enough to affect those. Pinnacle area, going to start seeing that line start to come in. Folks in Bella Vista, stronger wind gusts are towards your south, but getting a really good lightning show still. Good news is the south side of this warning not producing as strong of those wind gusts. X and A area, West Bentonville area is where we're seeing the stronger end of those damaging winds. Waiting on this next return to see if these wind gusts haven't reached into Bentonville by now. Next return they're going to be. So yeah, right there. That's that leading edge right now. So Bentonville area really starting to go into be seeing those strong wind gusts right now. This has only intensified as it's moved past the severe thunderstorm warning polygon. Continuing to see this signature grow. Looks like the majority of it is just towards the southwest of downtown Bentonville. So south side of Bentonville going to see those strong wind gusts start to move through. Just south of Bentonville, X and A, really seeing those damaging wind gusts right now. And Taneytown, let's go a little bit south. Still hanging on to that Tulsa site. Taneytown, seeing those stronger wind gusts start to move in as well. Here in Johnson, we're going to be seeing this in the next 15 minutes or so. So again, let's go ahead and This is our main area of concern right here. Also looking at this cell that could be pushing into parts of Springdale, north of Fayetteville. Could see some of those stronger wind gusts. Got 6 more minutes with this warning. I'm going to go ahead and pull up chat, see if they have any updates on Northwest Arkansas. Good. Okay, so here's the update on that. The reason they're not extending this warning, and because these wind gusts are past this polygon now, you're probably thinking, where's the next warning? Why haven't they extended it yet? They've dropped it down to a special weather statement. Now, this is still for 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, still some really strong winds, but now dropped below the severe limit. So as long as we don't see any upticks in the severity of this, when we reach 5 minutes, this polygon that we have right here for the severe thunderstorm warning going to drop off the map, and we will be warningless across Northwest Arkansas outside of that flash flood warning that's in Benton County. Still some really strong winds, 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts coming into Bentonville right now and the Pinnacle Hill area. This is where our strongest signature is, just south of Bella Vista, and then just off of Pea Ridge. Really just, if you're in the Bentonville area, you're with us this morning, these are where those 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts are now, dropping below the severe limit for the National Weather Service, so to issue a warning. So unless you get those updates for special weather statements, probably not going to see the alert come on your phone for a warning. So that's good news. We're trending in the right direction. Continues to died from a 70-mile-an-hour wind gust when it was in eastern Oklahoma, crossed over the county line into Arkansas, into Benton, Washington County, dropped down to 60, and now that we're outside of the warning polygon, dropping down to 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Special weather statements can still be considered damaging, though. We had one early this morning. I had a little bit of a microburst across Tawnytown area, Bentonville area. Again, in Benton County, saw some of those stronger wind gusts, saw some reports of some power outages, saw some reports of some small trees being taken down. So again, really still some strong wind gusts, just not considered severe, now right into Bentonville right now. And again, this leading edge making its way just south of Pea Ridge eventually is going to be producing those stronger winds. So we're looking at 3 more minutes with this warning before we start to see that disappear. I want to focus on some more spots outside of, obviously, with it comes to the winds, this is going to be one of our main concerns. Rogers now, you can expect some wind gusts to come in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so, but also the Siloam Springs area into northern Washington County, going to see some of these stronger wind gusts as well. Again, anywhere you see the orangish, pinkish color is those stronger wind gusts. So these are our 2 areas of concern right now. If we look on the south side of this warning that's about to expire, not producing a whole lot of those winds. Folks driving on I-49 here shortly or currently right now, right over 49 is where we're seeing those stronger wind gusts right now, moving into Rogers, moving into Springdale. Looks like Fayetteville is going to miss a majority of these wind gusts. Main concern right now is Bentonville area. Great return that we just got there. you're starting to see it fall apart now. That's why we have that special weather statement. Seeing not as tight as a reading from those velocity returns. So just seeing some isolated spots of those wind gusts. So now that we're just about to lose our warning, switch back over to sweeping radar. That initial line, again, this line is not the severe zone. This is only producing those lightning strikes and torrential downpour moving into the Huntsville area, moving into the Berryville area. I tell you what, Carroll County has seen a whole lot of severe weather, not only this summer, but just in recent time. This is the second wave, if you will, is what's producing those special weather statements across Benton County right now. Special weather statement, I don't know if I mentioned or not, left out of Washington County. So we're really just focused on Benton County right now for those stronger wind gusts. Folks asking about the Rogers area. Let's pull up velocity one more time. Again, dropping below the severe limits, but still producing up to 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Moving right into the Rogers area right now. Springdale area. Here pretty shortly. I'm going to draw, again, more of, I'm going to redraw that. See, this is what we're going to do. North side of Rogers, seeing some of that stronger returns, and then just west of Springdale, seeing some of those strong returns. Bentonville, really starting to see those wind gusts dive to the south and start to lose their intensity. And now that we're at 201, I want to show you across northwest Arkansas. Let's go ahead and turn off some of this stuff so we can clear it up. We are severe thunderstorm warning free right now, dropping below the severe limit for those wind gusts, pushing through I-49 right now between Bentonville and Springdale. Just seeing those 40 to 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Now what our warning concern is going to be is how many flash flood warnings we're going to see. Again, we have our one across Carroll and Benton counties until 4 a.m. Going to see more rainfall over the next several hours. So if you know you're in one of those spots that's in a low-lying area, could be seeing the potential for some flooding this morning. And now that we have that turned off, let's go ahead and turn back on our observed rain that we picked up. Lots of heavy rainfall across northwestern Benton County. And Bentonville and Rogers area also picking up a lot of water. Looking at these two red spots right here. That's where some of our flooding concerns could be. But really anyone in the orange or red portions of Benton and Washington County right now could be in for some flooding this morning. So again, this is our observed rain that we've picked up over the past couple hours or so. For folks wondering about the flooding concern across Benton County into Carroll County, even including, the warning does not include Washington County, but Washington County is still picking up a lot of that water. Let's flip back over to velocity now, check on some of those spots producing those stronger wind gusts. Rogers still seeing those 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts south of Bentonville, seeing those close to 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and looks like Fayetteville is going to just miss out on the strongest portion of it. Springdale area also seeing some of those. North side of Rogers is really where the strongest signature return is right here. This is what we're looking at right here. North Rogers area, seeing those 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts potentially. And then just towards the west of Springdale, also seeing some of those stronger returns. All right, so let's go through everything. We got, again, that flash flood warning for Benton County and Carroll County. Special weather statement now across Benton County. So we're going to be seeing 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts, but dropping below the severe limit now. No special weather statement for Washington County. And we'll be looking out for the potential for some flooding this morning. Again, low-lying areas, that's what you got to look out for the most concern. But if we have any more severe thunderstorm warnings for the rest of the morning, we'll go ahead and hop back on here. But now that we're outside of the severe zone, we're going to start to wrap things up here, and we'll hop on here as we need to. As always, keep it here, keep it local. As always, we'll keep you advised.